Poland is one of Europe's most underrated destinations. Rich history, incredible food, affordable prices, and infrastructure that makes traveling easy. In this video, you'll learn how to plan a 10 to 12-day trip focused on Warsaw and Krakow, the two cities that capture the best of the country. We'll also cover two optional extensions, Gdansk in the north and Zakopane in the mountains, so you can customize the trip to fit your style. And at the end, practical tips on transportation, currency, and budget so you arrive fully prepared. Poland has over 1,000 years of history and has gone through radical transformations over the centuries. It was one of the most powerful empires in Central Europe during the Middle Ages, then disappeared from the map for over 120 years, partitioned between Russia, Prussia, and Austria, and was the setting for some of the most defining events of the 20th century. During World War II, the country was devastated. Warsaw had 85% of its area destroyed by the Nazis and was rebuilt brick by brick after the war. Krakow, on the other hand, was one of the few cities to survive the war nearly intact, which explains why its historic center is so well preserved today. After decades under Soviet influence, Poland became the first communist bloc country to make a peaceful transition to democracy in 1989, led by the Solidarity movement. Today, it's a modern country, a member of the European Union, and home to a remarkably strong cultural identity. Now let's talk about the itinerary. For 10 days, the most balanced split is 4 days in Warsaw, 5 days in Krakow, and 1 day for a day trip from Krakow, either to Auschwitz-Birkenau or the Gdansk Zakopane. If you want to extend to 12 days, you have two excellent options. Head north to Gdansk for a completely different side of Poland, or south to Zakopane for mountain scenery and traditional Highland culture. We'll cover both later in this video. Starting with Warsaw, the capital is modern, dynamic, and full of contrasts. A meticulously reconstructed old town sitting alongside a skyline of skyscrapers with a vibrant food and cultural scene. The old town, known as Stare Miasto, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the obvious starting point. From there, make sure you visit the Warsaw Uprising Museum, one of the best produced museums in Europe. Allow at least 3 hours there, it's that good. The Palace of Culture and Science is an iconic piece of Soviet-era architecture with a rooftop observation deck worth going up for. Gdansk Park is the city's largest green space, home to the famous palace on the water. And if your visit falls on a Sunday, the park hosts free open-air Chopin concerts. For couples, that's a moment you don't want to miss. And if you're looking for something a little more raw and alternative, the Prague district on the other side of the river has street art, galleries, and a completely different energy from the rest of the city. Moving on to Krakow, Poland's medieval jewel and former capital. This is the city that tends to steal people's hearts. The main market square, Rynek Główny, is one of the largest medieval squares in the world and the absolute heart of city life. From there, walk up to Wawel Castle, the royal castle with its cathedral, the tombs of Polish kings, and beautiful views over the Vistula River. The Kazimierz Jewish Quarter is a neighborhood with deep layers of history, excellent restaurants, and a relaxed, intimate atmosphere. The Schindler's Factory Museum tells the story of the Nazi occupation of Krakow. It's an essential visit, but emotionally heavy, so pace yourself. And for a special evening in the neighborhood, Kazimierz has some of the best contemporary Polish cuisine you'll find anywhere. Just make sure to book in advance on weekends. For the day trip, you have two very different options from Krakow. Auschwitz-Birkenau is 70 kilometers away and is a visit that requires emotional preparation, but carries immense historical importance. Book your tickets well in advance. They sell out regularly. If you're looking for something less heavy, the Gdansk Zakopane is a remarkable alternative. An underground world with chapels and sculptures carved entirely from salt. It's genuinely unlike anything else. Now, If you have 2 extra days and want to extend the trip to 12 days, here are your 2 options. Gdansk is a port city on the Baltic Sea with a completely different feel from Warsaw and Krakow. Its colorful architecture along the long market street is unlike anything else in Poland, and it carries real historical weight as the birthplace of the Solidarity movement and the site where the first shots of World War II were fired. From Warsaw, it's about 3 hours by train. It's the perfect extension for couples who enjoy coastal cities in a slower pace. Zakopane, on the other hand, sits at the foot of the Tatra Mountains on the border with Slovakia. The scenery is dramatic. The traditional Highland culture is genuinely unique, and the local smoked cheese, called osipek, is something you have to try. From Krakow, it's about 2 hours by bus or car. This is for the ones looking for nature, hiking, and a complete change of scenery from city life. You don't need to do both. Just pick the one that fits your travel style and add it to either the beginning or end of your trip. Let's wrap up with the practical stuff. First, currency. Poland doesn't use the euro. The local currency is the Polish zloty. Exchange money at local exchange offices called kantor. The rates are significantly better than what you'll get at airports or banks. Cards are widely accepted, but carry some cash for markets and smaller spots. For getting around between cities, train is your best friend. Warsaw to Krakow takes about 2.5 hours on the PKP Intercity Express. Comfortable, reliable, and affordable when booked in advance through their app or website. Warsaw to Gdansk is around 3 hours by train as well. For Zakopane, buses from Krakow are the most practical option. And within cities, Uber and Bolt both work great and are very cheap by Western European standards. On budget, expect to spend around 150 to 200 euros per day for 2. That covers a well-located 3-star hotel, 1 sit-down restaurant per day, and paid attractions. A good restaurant meal typically runs 15 to 25 euros per person, and hotels in Krakow's central area go for about 60 to 100 euros per night. For timing, spring and early autumn are the sweet spots. April through June and September through October give you pleasant weather, fewer crowds, and better prices. If you go in December, though, Krakow's Christmas market is one of the most beautiful in all of Europe. And finally, language. In the main tourist areas, English is widely spoken, especially among younger people and in restaurants, hotels, and shops. Poland rewards anyone willing to step off the classic European tourist trail, and this itinerary gives you a strong foundation to start from. In the next videos on this channel, we'll go deep into Warsaw and Krakow individually, with day-by-day breakdowns, where to eat, where to stay, and how to make the most of each neighborhood. If Poland is already on your radar, save this video for when you start planning. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below.